One of the first things that we'll do with a dog like Dudley is, again, using the catch pole for safety. We'll simply bring him into our training room and just sort of hang out with him. There's no major requirement here. We're not asking anything of him. We're not trying to maneuver him in any particular way. We're simply hanging out with him in the room, letting him walk where he wants to walk, letting him sniff things and explore, and simply get used to our presence. If I start to get a decent vibe from the dog, I'll trust my gut and I'll remove the catch pole. Ready?
Yeah.
I very purposely position myself behind the place board, using it as a barrier between me and the dog. Again, we simply let Dudley freely wander around the room. One of the key principles to remember about this exercise is that we have no expectations for Dudley. We simply want him to exist in the same room as us. I would try to avoid letting him get behind you. Maybe he starts looking like he's going to come beside you, I would just back up against the wall.
Okay.
Or turn around, where you keep the place board between you and him.
Okay.
I just personally don't like him. Well, I can't see a dog.
Yeah, I agree.
Here, so make sure I kind of position myself. Chances are he's going to avoid no matter what anyway.
Right.
But still just better to make sure you don't get your back turned. Right, see how he avoided. There, he's staring at me, just avoiding eye contact, keeping my head positioned away from him, so it's not confrontational. We've had him out for about 15 minutes at this point, and you can tell he's becoming visibly more relaxed. Even the way he's looking at me is much softer. So there, even just like my movement, you can tell he got a little bit uncomfortable. Stop, turn my head away, kind of lowered my gaze away from him. Very purposely not approaching head on. Coming up is a very important moment. It's the first time that Dudley actually engages with me and looks as though he wants to interact. And it'll be the first time that I use food as part of this process. Right there. I don't use food prior to this moment because it would amount to me putting expectations on the dog. Again, it's essential that we don't place any expectations on the dog, but we let him choose when he's ready to engage. The nice thing about the food is now he's sniffing, he's engaging that nose a little bit, which is a little bit more pro-social. Oh, you missed that one. So that's basically it. This is a pretty typical early session with a fear-aggressive dog. The idea being that we simply want to give the dog a chance to get comfortable in the environment and get comfortable with us before we really start trying to manipulate the dog's behavior in any way. What we really look for is for the dog to tell us in their own way that they're ready to start training. And by using patience and giving the dog that amount of time, when we do begin the training process or the more formal training process, it's so much more productive because the dog is then a willing participant in the process. Training is something that they are engaging in rather than something that is happening to them. This stage generally can last anywhere from 1 to maybe 3 to 4 days, depending on the dog. While he's over here, why don't you open that?